let me share my, oops, I need to open the file again in a different way. Okay, so now I can share. Hi everyone, it is our time. Actually, we passed 2 minutes from our time. Good morning to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here again. And let's make a quick prayer before we start our study, and then we move on. Elsa, can you do our prayer, please?
Yes. Okay. So it's so nice when you have time to feed our souls, elevating our thoughts towards Almighty Father, feeling that we are never alone. When we pray, we are surrounded by the divine light that makes us feel something totally different, feel close to dear Master Jesus' heart, and you feel the blessings that our lives are. So, dear Master Jesus, dear spiritual benefactors, the ones that helped Kardec to write the Medium's book, inspiring him with the questions, help us now today to understand about spiritual life, about all the faculties that we can have and put in practice, always to help our brothers and sisters from the both world and helping ourselves to evolve. So, dear Lord, bless this group that is stayed together, enlightening the world together, so we can really achieve our goal, our aim, to be blessed forever with your light and teachings from now on. Dear Master Jesus, thank you so much. Thank you to all our benefactors, especially the ones that are guiding this group, helping us to understand more about our daily lives. Dear Master Jesus, with your permission, we're continuing our study this morning. So be it. Amen.
Well, let me share again my file. As we have people that maybe it's the first time joining us today, and I would like to remind you all that this is not a lecture, this is a study. And as such, everyone is invited to open the mic, making questions, share your experiences. Do not agree with something that may be said through this study, because this is a study and that's the way we learn together, all right? So we have stopped on the item 89. Manifestation of this nature often assume the character of a bona fide persecution. We know of 6 sisters who lived together and who for several years awoke in the morning to find their clothing scattered everywhere, hidden in the ceiling or ripped and cut to pieces in spite of their precautions in keeping them locked up. Often, persons have been lying down, but perfectly awake and haven't seen the curtains thrown open, or their covers and pillows violently snatched away, or they have been lifted into air and sometimes even thrown out of the bed. These events are more frequently than one might think. So I'll highlight here so we can talk a bit about that. But most victims keep quiet out of fear of being ridiculed. We know that due to these facts, some of these persons have been subject to medical treatment for deranged individuals as though they were experiencing hallucinations. And as a result, they end up actually losing their minds. Whoa. Let's highlight that as well. Medicine cannot comprehend such incidents since it will only accept material causes, a fact which has led to a disastrous era. History will someday comment on certain treatments of the 19th century in the same way it comments nowadays on certain procedures of the medieval times. So I'll stop here so we can talk about that a little bit. One thing that Kardec says here is the frequency those phenomena occur. We had a brilliant example last week from Liz. And I totally agree with Kardec that a lot of people, they may be facing those events. They will not speak out. They will not share those experiences because they will be afraid of repercussions in the family and outside the family. Is this more common than we think? Kardec says yes. We should not be thinking about a massive event like a poltergeist type of thing, like we see on the movies. But some of them happens in a way that we don't even pay attention on it. To make it happen, we already study what is required, right? We need a medium. We need the spirit able to manipulate the fluid and the will. So if you do have those three things together, it could happen anywhere. Another thing that's very important here that Kardec says is that through the process of his research, he have been encountered people that had been targeted or labeled as having hallucinations. And the treatments for hallucinations at that time, and even today, are not very friendly. At that time, electrical treatment was friendly already in comparison with other methods. Today, I think, at least in most countries, we do not have electrical treatment anymore, but we have chemical treatment that is also a hazard for the physical body and for the spirit. But one point that is very important here that Kardec says is that with results of the treatment that was given to those people that were experiencing the phenomena, they end up losing their minds. Is that different today? What do you guys think? Is there any difference today?
It is different, I think, if I may say, but with different intensity. I think we still have the situations in some places, not in the same intensity, but I think we still have. This is my personal opinion, please.
Daniel, good morning, Daniel. It depends of your environment, or what you do, right? Because today we have plenty of asylums everywhere where the family normally leave the people that they cannot handle at home. And in those asylums, the very same thing is still happening. I had contact with people that they managed to find the true cause of the problem in time. But some of the people, they don't have that chance. And through the effect of the drugs that are given to them, the physical problem may be irreversible. So I agree with you, that's not happening on every corner anymore, but it's still happening. Still happening. And as Kardec said, medicine cannot comprehend such incidents. Here we are talking about physical effects, phenomena, but same applies to uncontrolled mediumship. Many people that could not find the proper support for their mediumship, they unbalanced mediumship, they end up in those institutions. And exactly the same mechanism described by Kardec may happen. Why I'm highlighting Kardec? Because people may say, oh, Guilherme is telling this. No, I'm not. I was exposed to the very same data that Kardec has used to write that. But Kardec said that. So if we are not happy, we need to pick up the phone and call Kardec. All right? And on the end of that sentence is something very interesting. Because when we look behind today, we see that some of the procedures given by the medicine or by the science of that time were considered top-notch, the best ever treatment. And today, when we look back, we feel ashamed. So it would be very natural that in a couple of centuries from now, people will look back and see how is that possible that you never consider that as a mediumship or something else. So eventually that will happen. We perfectly accept the fact that some of these instances are the work of malice or malevolence. But since it has been sufficiently verified that they are not produced by any human, we must conclude that they are, according to some, the work of devil, or according to others, the work of spirits. But what is spirits? It is interesting, that sentence too, I think, because even today, almost 200 years past that time, a lot of people, if they see those events, the first thing they will think is, oh, it's from devil, it's devil's work. Really? Yeah, it is. A lot of people, when they are facing something that they do not understand or is contrary to what they believe or worship, they refer that to devil's work, right? And another thing that's very important, we have to always do what Kardec mentioned here. We have to eliminate other possibilities, other human interaction with the phenomena, especially nowadays with the fake news and technology that is available to buy on the shop next door. We can come up with a lot of pretty good fake situations, right? So we need to be sure first that what we are facing is not product of anything made by incarnated human people, right? Highly evolved spirits, like serious and responsible human individuals, do not enjoy themselves by causing an uproar. They have often interviewed the spirits involved in this type of phenomena about the reason for troubling someone's rest, and have found that most of them have only wanted to entertain themselves. They are frivolous spirits rather than evil, who laughed about the alarm they cause and the futile research their victims undertake in trying to find out the cause of the commotion. They will often attract themselves to individuals and entertain themselves by troubling them everywhere they go. At other times, they attach themselves to a particular place out of pure caprice, but they sometimes do so out of revenge, as we will see. In certain cases, however, their intentions are more praiseworthy. They want to call attention to themselves and to establish communications, whether to give useful advice to the person who they are addressing or to make requests for themselves. We have often seen them ask for prayers or the fulfillment of some obligation they were unable to accomplish. Others, for their own peace of mind, want to amend a wrong they had committed while alive. It is usually a mistake to fear their presence, which may be intimately but not dangerous. Let me stop here, otherwise we go too far away. Well, we already discussed that here in the previous studies, that the difference of the spirits that can be part of this phenomenon, right? So we have to, first of all, eliminate all the other causes. After that evaluation, if all other possibilities are eliminated, we may consider as something from the spirits. Coming from the spirits, we may have different degrees of intentions, if I may say like that. Nevertheless, if we are facing those phenomena, this is a wake-up call. I think we spoke about that before. When we face mediumship in some shape and form, this is a wake-up call. As a normal phone call, we are not obliged to pick up the phone and answer. But it's recommended to do so. It's recommended to at least understand what is going on. How can I protect myself? How can I live with that? So, in my personal opinion, any physical effect mediumship, any physical effect phenomena, any mediumship phenomena is a wake-up call. All right? The desire to be free of them is understandable, but the way used to do so is usually the opposite of what should be done. Guys, I had few experiences with people coming to the Spirit Center asking to get a healing or to have a procedure done to make the spirits go away. Do you think that works? Do you think that's possible? What do you guys think?
I think we have to just consider, would it work on us? Because they're just, spirits are just people, who no longer have their body. So if we were hell-bent on harassing somebody, would a little bit of magic or some kind of trick convince us to suddenly stop? I don't think it would. So we have to look at appealing to their intelligence, and trying to reason with them through, moral work like the gospel and stuff like that, and looking at understanding why they're doing it, and then they can, look at it and scrutinize their own behavior a bit more carefully, just like if you had somebody in front of you, who was a criminal, you might be able to convince them if you talk to them, but not through trying to force them. That wouldn't be as easy.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate what you said. I really do, because that comparison makes people understand what is happening around them. We're talking about human people. The only difference, as you said, so is with or without body, right? So yeah, very good, very good. And a lot of people come to the Spiritist Center asking for the magic wand. They think, yeah, well, yeah, I came here, I want to get a healing and leave here what is with me, what is bothering me, you know, and thank you very much, goodbye, and never return. It doesn't work like that. Unfairness to what people hear or see or being told everywhere on the internet or even through other experiences does not work like that. There are people that even charge money saying, I will fix your problem. Come over here and I'll fix your problem. Would be unfair to me to say that those spirits could not be moved away for a period of time. I understand that other practices may try to do, may think they are doing. But if it does happen like that, it's just for a short period of time. And when they come back even stronger. Because there's only one way to fix that kind of thing, is to learn, to embrace what's going on, to look internally to ourselves to see what has to be improved. And then perhaps things will get better. When dealing with the spirits who are merely entertaining themselves, the more seriously they are taken, the more persistent they become. It's like a bullying in the school, right? I think we all were children eventually. One time we were children, right? And bullying is the name today, but at the time was having fun, right? It's the same thing. If you listen to what they are saying about you, things will get worse because they will have fun. They will be pleased to make you suffer, and it's the same thing. Like ordinary children who bother people even more, the more impatient they become, and who frighten the timid. On the other hand, if people were simply to laugh at their antics, they would tire of them and leave the victim in peace. We know someone who, instead of being annoyed by them, urged them on, challenging them to do this or that, so that after a few days they went away. But as we have said, there are some who act with frivolous reasons. Therefore, it is always best to try to find out what they want. What if I cannot find out what they want? What should I do? You know, because I cannot talk to them. I cannot see them. I cannot interact with them. So how can I do that? What kind of options I may have if I cannot do anything, if I cannot interact in any shape or form? It's very simple. Yeah, exactly. Everyone can do that everywhere, anytime, any day. And pray is the most common thing you can do, right? There are other things you can do, but pray is the one that can be done by anyone, anytime. If they ask for something, their visits are sure to cease when they have been satisfied. The best way for obtaining information is to evoke them through a capable writing medium. I will not elaborate about that here. I just want you guys to keep that in mind. Evoke and through writing mediums. And in the future, we're going to be talking about how to evoke, what is evoke, things like that, okay? And this has some risks. So that's what we want to mention today. From their responses, one can determine who they are and may act accordingly. If an unhappy spirit is involved, charity requires training it with the attention it deserves. Very interesting. To practice charity, we need training. We need treating that with the proper attention. Sometimes we think we are ready to do many things and we are not. We need training. We need to be acquainted with the situations. We need to be acquainted with the minimum level of knowledge to allow us to do something safely. And we have to give the proper attention. If it is a deceptive spirit, it may deal with it directly. If it is an evil, we must pray to God to enable it to become better. In all cases, however, prayer can only bring good results. On the other hand, let me stop here, because we may have people on this group here that are not spiritists, they are here. When we talk about prayer, it's a connection to the universe, it's a connection to the origins, if we like. And when we pray, it is more than just a mechanical thing. Prayer is not just, I believe in angels, I believe. It's not like that. When we are truly praying, we have chemical reactions, we have fluid reactions, we have energy reactions around us, around the person that is the subject of the prayer. That's not our target here, but we have to remember that the act of prayer is not just something religious. It's way more than that if we decide to study about it. On the other hand, solemn exorcism formulas only provoke them to laughter. They are of no consequence to them. If one can communicate with them, one should distrust the burlesque or scary titles they sometimes give themselves in order to entertain themselves at the gullibility of the audience. We're talking about here, how can we do that, really? Exorcism. When we talk about exorcism, what comes to our mind is that film, right? That movie. And there are some practices that we call exorcism, not in the spiritism, but there are those practices that still exist this time and age. And this will not move one spirit away. You may believe what you want to believe, but in reality, an exorcism will not move an spirit away. And quite often, it hurts the person, depending on the methods used. We shall return to deal with this subject in more details, as well as the causes that frequently render prayers useless in this chapter, Haunted Places and Obsessions. Oh dear, we're not going to go, as Kardec don't want to talk here. Who am I to talk about the hearing that? But some prayers are useless. Do you have any idea why? No, no one have an idea.
I think when you pray for material things, when you don't, pray for material. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the things.
Yeah.
That's one of the things.
Formulaic, isn't it? It's just something that's mechanically said, known by heart, and but there's no heart in it.
That's as well. You, Yasmin, go on.
It was almost the same thing as Faye. If we just, because usually in exorcisms we can see like they just speak and a series of sentences just because it's said to be like this, but prayers are something, as you said, Guillaume, that connect to to everything, and but for that we need to involve feelings and yeah, not just say words. Go away for saying the word, but yeah,
Mhm.
same as faith.
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to say also that sometimes we also need to learn what we are asking, or because sometimes we ask for specific, we pray or asking for specific things, and not the correct ones, I might say, and we should most of the time we ask for some specific thing, like as someone said, material thing, and sometimes we don't know what is best for ourselves. So the way we pray or what we ask in our prayer is also very important. For example, ask for strength, ask for, pray for, get more clarity, more wisdom, what is best for me, what I should learn, things like that. I think can get more results.
Yeah, you're all right. Prayer is practice. Prayer is practice. If you never do, the first time you do, you're learning. As you start to practice, as you start to have that as a routine, you start to see changes on yourself, on your environment, on that situation that is bothering you at the time. So as everything in life, prayer is practice. For material things, forget about it. It's not going to work, right? But our will is very important when we pray. Another thing that's important when we pray is that if I do things wrong all day long, all my life, it's better change a little bit what you do, because that will help your prayer, right? If I do only bad things, it's not because I'm praying for 3 minutes that things are changing, right? So things need to work together. Although they are produced by less evolved spirits, these phenomena are quite often caused by spirits of a higher order for the purpose of demonstrating the existence of incorporeal beings and a power superior to their humans.
Is the wake-up call that you mentioned, maybe?
Yeah. Let me see one thing here. Charles, or I don't think she's here today. Charles, do you have the? Oh, he's not there. Okay, I was trying to ask if the word in the book, in the original book, is really said evolved spirits, but we see that later.
I just had to step out because they were ringing the bell. Where is it, William?
91.
Yes.
When he said produced by less evolved spirits, is in French really evolved spirits in the sentence?
No, par des esprits inférieurs.
Okay.
So it's, I would say it's a little bit more polite in English. In French, it's a little bit stronger.
Yes.
Esprit inférieur means low-level spirits.
Thank you. I was just wondering if that was the right word. The repercussions that result from them, the very aura they can stir up, call attention to the matter and end up opening the eyes of the most incredulous, who would otherwise think it's simpler to regard the phenomena as effects of the imagination. A very convenient explanation that dispenses with searching for others. But when objects are turned over or thrown at people's heads, it would take a very complacent imagination not to see that the incidents are real. Something came to my mind here is that from time to time, we end up meeting people that they are very positive in saying that I'm not medium. But from time to time, they speak different languages. They speak about subjects they don't know. They, from a couple of minutes, like they lost the plot. They don't know what's happening. And when that's happening, they speak like they were someone else. But they are very positive to say that I'm not medium. Why I'm saying that? We may have many proofs, but if you don't want to believe, doesn't matter. We may be exposed to a very terrific poltergeist phenomena, but if you don't want to believe, no one will convince you. If something occurs, it obviously has a cause, and if a cool and collected observation shows the effects to be independent of any human will or material cause, and that it furthermore shows obvious signs of its own intelligence and free will, its most characteristic trait, people will be forced to attribute it to a concealed intelligence. But who are these mysterious beings? That is what the Spiritist studies have revealed in a way that is hard to dispute. Thanks to the means such studies have provided for communicating with them. I think for me it's very clear, but I'm not sure if anyone, I'm not talking about this group, I'm talking about anyone outside this group, would understand like that. Because as I said, if they don't want to believe that spirits exist, you can do anything and they still not believe. Moreover, Spiritist studies have also taught us how to determine what is real, false, or exaggerated about the phenomena we have not witnessed. When a strange effect occurs, a noise, a movement, or even an apparition, the first thought that should enter our minds is that its cause is completely natural, because that is the most probable one. We must thus search for its cause with great care and not accept the intervention of spirits unless we do so judiciously. So Kardec is mentioned that many times, right? So when we see something, don't jump straight away saying, oh, that's a spirit doing blah, blah, blah. This will enable us to avoid illusion. For example, someone who received a slap or a blow from a cane to the back without being approached by anyone, as has happened, could not doubt the presence of an invisible being. We must caution ourselves against reports that can be considered to be more or less exaggerated, and also against our own impressions, so that we do not attribute an unseen origin to everything we find unexplainable. There are many simple and natural causes that can produce effects that appear quite strange at first glance, and it would obviously be superstitious to see spirits everywhere, occupied with overturning furniture, breaking windows, and causing all sorts of domestic disturbances that may more reasonably be attributed to our own carelessness. So I think that on that part here, basically, is very straightforward. We should not believe everything. We should not consider everything from the spirits, especially when we start to get acquainted with the spiritism thing or spiritualist thing. We kind of believe everything is related to the spirits. So we need to be careful to not fall under some mistake. Moving on, the hurling of objects. The explanation of how inert objects are moved naturally applies to all the spontaneous effects we have just dealt with. Although they are louder than raps within a table, noises have the same cause. The hurling and displacement of objects are produced by the same force that lifts any object into the air. There is even a circumstance that serves to support this theory. We might ask where the medium may be found in these cases. And the spirits have explained that there is always someone who forces our unwittingly. So sometimes we don't know we are mediums. We don't know our brothers or sisters are mediums. They are not trying to make anything, but things happen anyway. Spontaneous manifestations rarely occur in isolated areas, but almost always occur in inhabited houses and are due to the presence of certain individuals who unknowingly exert their influence. These people are mediums, but are unaware of their abilities. We thus call them natural mediums. They are to the other mediums what natural somnambulism are to magnetic somnambulism, and are as worthy of examination. Any questions? You guys just jump in, okay? The voluntary or involuntary intervention of an individual endowed with a special aptitude appears to be necessary in most cases to produce these phenomena. Although sometimes there are circumstances where a spirit seems to be acting alone. Let's think about something here, right? We're living now in a block of flats. We have, let's say, 30 different flats in that building. In my flat, I may not have a medium at all, but the flat next door may does, and that's already enough to start the thing, you know? So sometimes we can even think, I'm a medium, I am doing this. Sometimes you're doing nothing. Sometimes, yes, the phenomena is occurring, but not because of anyone next to you, but from someone close to you. However, even in such cases, it could still be taking the animalized fluid from someone who is not in the immediate area. This would explain why it is that even though spirits are constantly around us, they do not cause disturbances all the time. A spirit must first want to and must have a purpose and a motive, without which it does not do anything. When it must find an individual nearby who is capable of aiding it where it is intended to act, a coincidence that rarely happens. In such an individual unexpectedly appears. The spirit takes advantage of the opportunity. However, despite these favorable circumstances, it might still be prevented by a superior will, who will not allow it to act as it wants, or it may be allowed only to act within certain limits, in cases where such manifestations may be considered useful, whether to serve as to a means of conviction or as a trial for the person subjected to them. You guys are very quiet today. Regarding the above matter, we will allude to a conversation arising from events that occurred in June 1860 in the Noyers Street in Paris. Details of the incident can be found in the Revue Spirit, August 1860. 1. To St. Louis. Would you be so kind to tell us if the events that are said to be occurring on Noyers Street are real or not? We have no doubt that it is quite possible for them to occur. Now we have the answer from the spirit. Yes, the events are real. But popular imagination has exaggerated the facts, whether out of fear or mockery. Nonetheless, it will appear, I will repeat that they are real. The manifestations are being caused by a spirit who is entertaining itself at the expense of the inhabitants of the place. I think that's clear, the message from St. Louis and popular imagination. This can always play a massive role in mediumship, right? Sometimes we believe we are this, we are that, we are not this, we are not that. So imagination can be a lot of hard work for mediums, especially in the beginning. Is there someone in the house who is the cause of the manifestation? Such manifestations are always caused by the presence of a disliked individual to whom the spirit attaches itself. The troublesome spirit is displeased with the inhabitant of the place and want to make mischief or even make him move out. To you guys that are buying a new flat or moving to a new flat for any reason, be careful now, you don't know who's inside before you. Hi, Faye.
Hi, thanks. It just reminds me of one thing, that talking of phenomena, it's something that was present in my life as a child. My father was aware that something was a bit different in the things that I did and all that. But he would say to me, Faye, when I'm watching TV downstairs, please stop walking in your room upstairs because you interfere with the TV. And I was sure if I was playing, because I didn't want to watch the news, he could never watch the news if I was playing. So he could tell that there was something, I wouldn't say magnetic, maybe. I wouldn't say necessarily spiritual, but he could say, well, just sit down and read, please, while I watch my TV.
Faye, I'm picturing that scenario in my mind. That's very funny. Do not move.
It was a nightmare. Faye, just study or read or something, or go somewhere else, but not on top of the TV.
As you said something interesting, let me tell you something about me too, right? And sometimes, depending on the country I'm living, I have to rent instead of buy because I won't stay for too long or something, or just for a couple of months, depends, right? And I went to find a place for my daughter. That was the last one. I went to find a place to my daughter in France, and I went to visit a few flats. And the agent, she started looking at me like, oh, I think he has a problem. Because sometimes I just put my foot into the door and I say, oops, nope, that's not for me. No, I can visit, but this is not for me. I could not see anything but the energy, the air inside, the weight inside. I said, no, that's not for me. Let's move on. But it's a nice location. Do you know that's very difficult to find a flat here? I do know that, but no, not this one. Thank you.
Yeah, same here.
So yeah. Funny things. Let's move on.
Guilherme,
Yes.
in that one, like I know, like you said about that feeling, but if you move in and start praying, don't you clean? That's not will take too long. Or if you move in and start praying, don't you kind of clean the atmosphere? Kind of, or if
Technically
can be too
you would.
risky.
Technically you would, right?
Mhm.
But I don't feel just like a feeling. I feel sometimes I'm hurt,
Okay.
right? And but yes, you're right.
Mhm.
If I come inside, I knew what would be inside, what was expecting, and eventually things would get better. Yes, you're totally right. But I was not prepared to pay for that, you know. Wow.
Was for your daughter.
Yeah, I have enough trouble as it is, so let me find a place where I will not find that thing, you know. But yeah, you're right, totally right.
Would it be right to say that even if whoever is wandering about in the place, in the flat, even if that person, that spirit is not necessarily evil, but the ambience, you know, the structure is impregnated with a long time of energy. Would that be a possibility, or
Yes.
am I dreaming?
No, that can be a possibility, right?
Yeah.
Likewise, let's say that next door here, I have a massive nightclub where there's a lot of things going on in the nightclub, as we all know, right? Sometimes that inside that flat, there was nothing, but the atmosphere around that flat could be so heavy that there are places I cannot get in. I feel bad, really bad, right? There are some places, even tourist places, I cannot get in. I cannot get in. And if I push myself to do it, I will fall. I will fall sick. I'll feel hurt. So yeah, that's something that is coming with practice again.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that in photography, when visiting one particular old building, and I was photographing the artworks. When it got to one area of the building that had been used as a prison, none of the photographs had a focus, none of them. And it was the same setting, the same place, everything the same. All the rest was fine. That area was completely blurred.
And why is that? You know, is the machine having problem?
No, I felt bad too.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, but there are things that we need to leave to understand and to believe, right? It's not reading a book that we can get that kind of experience. So mediumship evolves, right? If we, let's say we are here in this room and we have, I don't know how many people are here today, 19 people here. And if we are here today, there are two reasons. The reason number one, we are mediums, regardless if we use our mediumship or not, we are mediums, and we want to learn about it. Reason number two, we know we are mediums. We don't want to work on mediumship, but we want to learn how to live with that. And the third option, someone that wants to have a general knowledge about mediumship. But this third option, quite often, is the bare minimum amount of people that come with those characteristics. The great majority is one or two. As we evolve, as we embrace mediumship as natural, as something positive in our lives, as something that will use to help others and humanity, as a duty, mediumship evolves. Today, I'm just having a little bit of feeling. Tomorrow, I start to write. After tomorrow, I may start to feel the urge to talk. After tomorrow, I may start to see some things blur around me. Like, of course, I'm saying today, tomorrow is not like that, right? We're talking about a period of time, but evolves. As it evolves, what we perceive, what we feel, also evolves. So that's why it's important we always understand that mediumship is natural. If we do have mediumship, it's because we asked. We asked to do what? To repay our debts or to improve ourselves. If we decide not to use here, I'm afraid that when we come back over there, we'll be so disappointed with ourselves because we wasted a great opportunity to be one. And the amount of people trying to incarnate now is massive. And we just throw in the bin our opportunity. Of course, we'll have other opportunities. When? Who knows? But we will. But if we think it's natural, if we think it's positive, we will start to perceive different things as we move along. To the point that we are even able to perceive sometimes what is going on in that place. We are able to perceive even that what other peoples are thinking. But there are different things, right? Hi, Liz. You're mute. Open your mic, please.
Yes, when you were saying that mediumship is so natural, it's like who we truly are. I decided this year to be that natural in my real life so that whenever I'm with people or there's a situation whereby I've already had messages about something or I'm aware of something, I make a point of actually saying it in public or saying it to whoever I'm with. I don't hide it anymore to myself because it's the most natural phenomena. And if I might get strange looks sometimes or whatever, that doesn't bother me. I think it's more important that people realize that I take it that seriously, that it's that much part of my life. My neighbors all understand this now, and they're starting to talk back with me and relate things. And it's opening people up more. So as I go through my life as assuming it's totally a natural phenomena, I'm hoping that will help people as well. Yeah, I might get labeled a few things, but it's worth it because I've got quite a thick skin where that's concerned now.
Very nice, very nicely. And by the way, I have so many labels and I don't care about them, you know, and I think it's natural what you said, that sometimes we are not very comfortable with what we are until we realize that's natural, and then we can use that to help others. So when something very important now to everyone, when we embrace mediumship and we understand that is to promote good to everyone around us, in our family, outside of family, spirits we don't even know who they are, then good spirits come more often around us because they realize, whoops, now I have someone we can work with. And the next step is what? Engaging ourselves in our routine tasks with mediumship, like you guys doing here. You guys are studying. Some people here do have practices. Some people here are part of mediumship meetings. And then we start to really live what is being a medium. We start to see how natural it is. I'm not saying that it does come without any burden. Of course, there is a burden. Some people think I'm crazy, so be it. I have no problem with that. Some people think that Liz may not be normal. The neighborhood may not like Liz. Oh,
but it's normal.
Look, that lady, you know, things like that. So, but on the end of the day, we are what we are. We have a choice to embrace or not who we are.
I think another important thing is to live the most authentic life that you can do and to be an authentic person, to be true to yourself and to be true to who you really are and where you came from.
I would change one word: authentic. Authentic could be a lot of things, all right? But I would say that lead by example. If everything you do is positive, helping people, left, right, you know, welcome people when they are really suffering, and that's your business card, you know. You need to decide what kind of business card you want. If your business card is positive, no one will continue to think you're crazy. Initially, they think, yes, you're a bit crazy, but she's helping people. She's
Service to others.
yes, she's doing this, she's doing that. I never saw her doing anything bad. I never saw her doing anything like that, you know. And then eventually, your business card does not have buts anymore. Your business card will be, this person is there to help the community, the people that are coming. And I think that's what we all should have in our business cards anyway, right? But it's a process. It's a process. So thank you, Liz. Thank you for your participation. Very nice. So everyone, it is time to wrap up our study today. That was good. I appreciate your participation, and looking forward to be with you guys next weekend too. And let me stop the recording here. Let me stop share first. Stop the recording. Well, see you all next week. And
Thank you.